Did you have access to like? There was no Columbia houses. I'm gonna get. Did you have the internet back then?
No, you know what? The internet started when I was like, yeah, in high school, like I guess, I don't know, ninth grade, 10th grade. We started with like the big computers, like, we had an hour a week in the computer room, so it was crazy. But I do remember having Columbia House, where you would buy like the subscription, like you get like, three CDs or something like that, like I don't know, for 3 months or something. So we did have that, but it was always my mom's stuff that we would get, obviously. So
That's what happened.
not, yeah, none that had to do with me.
I feel that.
I think we
Okay.
got R. Kelly. I think that was like the dopest thing that we had, R. Kelly. I was like, okay, all right, we could swing
I appreciate
that.
that. That's cool. That's interesting too, because again, nobody's actually been like, "Yo, we had it," but my mom had it. I'm like, that's a first. That's interesting. In my
Yeah.
case, it was totally like I remember going through it. I remember picking CDs and stuff. So, but then you meet people and they introduce you to like rap or hip hop of a certain era. It seems, and then it
Yep.
brings you into the know of what's going on there. And then, when do you like develop some kind of an interest in pursuing music? Is it in high school or does that come like later on down the line?
It came later on down the line because it's crazy, but I graduated high school at 15. So I was
Wait, what?
actually,
Yo,
yeah,
flex on that
yeah,
for a minute.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I graduated at 15 because I skipped a grade. So yeah, I graduated mad early. So I was actually at Banye. I was 15 going on 16. So that's, yeah, I was at Banye mad young, mad young. And I would say that's really when I got into the music because it's funny. Like I said, like I'm from Laval. I went to school in Rosemere, which is even more north. You know, it's not that type of vibe out here. You know what I mean? So when I came to Montreal, when I went to CJEP, that's when it was like, okay, like they had like, jam sessions and, all these shows and all these things. And then I was like, hey, I could actually sing. Let me try this. And that's when I sort of, got into it really.
Yeah, that's mad cool. So
Yeah.
like tell us a bit about that. Were you like just doing your own stuff? Was it karaoke's? Was it like what kind of stuff were you up to get started with?
It's funny. It was just, you put a soundtrack on, an instrumental, you sing. But then it's funny because then when I'm, in Montreal, obviously now this is a whole new world for me, right? So I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to let loose. Cause now this is the vibes out here. Where I'm from, this is boring. This is like, farmland. Like now I'm in Montreal. Then, you start linking up with people, you start meeting people, and they're rapping, and then they're like, yo, come do a chorus. Okay, we're going to this show in Park X. Okay, we're going downtown. We're doing this. So like that's really it's funny. This is really how I got, into it, and even that's how I met DJ Majest. I forget where. I think it was either at Dawson or Vanier. We had crossed paths and like, then he was like, yo, I'm a DJ. Okay, go to his house, work on some music. So it was just, I guess it was sort of like a domino effect once I got to Montreal.
So
Because before
basically,
then it was,
you get into Vanier and already you're getting linked up with people, and via people you're getting invited to go do different things, and you're just kind of saying
yeah,
yes to the opportunities and running through it. That's what I'm understanding so
exactly.
far. So you were already like,
Yeah.
how long were you like there before this started happening, or was it just like off the jump, or did it take a year or two?
I would say off the jump, I would say, because I swear, when I set foot in Montreal, I was like, bitches, I'm home. Move out the way, like, and then it's like, it's a whole new world. And I was like, wow, I'm able to, and as crazy as it seems, I was like, I'm able to just be myself and be accepted for who I am. Whereas, I had gone through a lot of discrimination at the high school that I was, because of my color, sadly, but it is what it is, especially back then, it was even worse than now. So, yeah, I wasn't really able to just be myself, I guess, So once I got to Montreal, then I was like, okay, there's other people that are like me that have the same interests, we can connect. So that was dope. That was dope. So it just sort of kind of happened. And then I started doing show after show. And then from there, it just sort of never stopped.
So like, who were you performing with back in the day? Like, what? When did you come into it?
It's funny, because I did some stuff with Majest. I did some stuff with Oh my God, Ricky J back in the days. And then it was mostly after that, it was mostly French people. Like Corporation Click, they were a French rap group, Tactical Crew, Technical Sense, Sans Pression, Joe BG. Oh my God, Yvon Crevé. And these are all people that are like, hip hop Québécois veterans, So it was really dope because it's like, wow, they're out here really like with CDs in, what was that CD store?
Which one? HMV?
HMV, exactly. Like they got CDs at HMV and I'm out here, they want me on the track. It's crazy, So it was a lot of fun. And back then, in order to make your, I'm gonna say pedigree, it might not be the right the right word, but in order to, gain your momentum, you actually had to be out there on the field, right? So I was actually out there in all of these clubs. I was actually out there at all of these shows. We had a show on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. So it's like now it's like you could post something on the internet and it just goes viral and it's like, okay, your name is made. But back then you had to be there. We were at, McGill, the metro station, handing out flyers. So it's like we had to really do the actual groundwork, which is what I feel that we don't do anymore in music. We do it like, virtually on the internet, which is cool. Times change, but it's just that for me, it was like, it's really hands-on. It's crazy.
I totally feel
crazy.
You. I watched the transition happen, so like I totally get what you mean. And like I remember being out in like 2012, and now it's a different model, but I mean, it's a big subject. There's a lot of things that changed between that time and now, and like every part of the scene with related to the bars, to the everything. Like people like it was a lot easier to get people to come to a show, and like the $20 pitchers of rum and coke were at Belmont, and when that went to $32, my ability to get people to go to Belmont, regardless of the event, changed. Like that has nothing to do with the show. It's just now the selling point disappeared. That was the thing.
No, exactly. No, totally, exactly. Like times have changed. It's completely different.